Hello, I'm Curious of the Potato Family, and sometimes even the leader of Void, and we're here today to talk about city captures. Specifically, what we do when we're trying to take a city controlled by a hostile union. A key difference here from a normal city capture is we actually have to consider stealth. To make things difficult, our opponents can actually attack us while we're attacking a city. The atrocity of that thought! So in order to stop such silly things like retaliation, we try to set up our forces away from the city. A city itself only has a vision range of about 2.5 squares, so here we're setting up 4 squares away. This way, the only way we're going to get outed before we're attacking is if somebody happens to fly over this massive pile of forces you see on our screen. The other main consideration we have here is timing, and we want to build all these forces in at the same time, so we complete this in the smallest amount of time possible. Some unions build outposts and try to have everyone warp into the outpost, then attack the city from that warped outpost. We will not be doing that here. We found it kind of gives away the game early because the outposts are, one, visible from a zoomed out perspective, two, they give so much time to get to the outpost building. It's easier just to stage outside where we are, for example, 4 squares away, and bring fleets in. So probably the most important thing we can do is scout moving. For example, what we end up doing is it takes 13 minutes to move this fleet this distance. I mean, it's frigate, so this is pretty fast. But if we're going to go even faster, first thing we do is we move a fast ship like a recon into that space. That's going to take here significantly less time. I mean, we're looking at 8 minutes for the scout ship to get in. It's a single ship in my case, a Carillion, but an FG-300 works wonders here too. And their job is to get in position. When you've got a ship sitting stable in a location, they're running into 2 major advantages with that. First, your time to move is going to be drastically increased. We've gone from that 17 minutes to 3 minutes to get that fleet into position. The other thing we're going to see is this is a traffic jam. There's too many ships piled on top of each other. The scouts can navigate through this mess and not really jam up that badly, but if I tried to move a fleet out through that, it would just backlog and go into pathfinding hell. However, with the scout ship, the ships will now jump into warp when they move, which means they move over top the other ships. Takes care of our pathfinding woes and actually allows the ship to stay into position. The other bonus is the speed. We're now moving at 3 minutes, so that is significantly faster. However, when you're doing this type of move, just remember you need to make sure that your scout ship stops moving first, else you're going to run into a problem where you don't get the speed bonus. It only registers if the scout is stationary. As we continue to fast forward through this replay, you can actually watch my white dot move many times faster than all the people who forgot to scout move. And actually, if everyone's doing it, it makes the whole thing go faster. The second thing you're going to start seeing some of us do is move these scouts after they're done moving over to this far corner. This is something we picked up from Kumo Crew, so thank you guys for teaching us about it. And what we stage them all over there, so we all attack the city at the same time with these scouts. This will happen after the blockade is popped and dealt with. And then we're going to summon half the city's defenders out to go attack these scouts. Before the scouts are engaged, we retreat the scouts. If the scouts are actually getting into a fight, and then they'll actually return the city fleets back to the city, and that's not what we're trying to happen. We want the city fleets to continue out there and not be a part of the fight, so we're kind of taking advantage of that bug there. Second thing to note is we also still need 1 scout to hit the city. Cat Bus is going to provide that for us here, but that scout has to be parked close to the city because we don't want to pull a fishing fleet with it. We want it to actually hit the city and pop the city fleets. When it pops the city fleets, it's going to send blockades out, and then we deal with the blockades. As we deal with the blockades themselves, we don't want to have more than 4 fleets engage any one blockade. Now let's hurry up and wait for all our fleets to finally get into position. Alright, here we can see Cap Bus pops the blockades. Blockades come out. We immediately engage 4-1 on each of them for the 3 of them. That clears these blockades fairly quickly. I mean, at this point, we're relying more on numbers than anything to do this because it's early in the server. As soon as these blockades are cleared, we're going to have everyone continue to circle up. Notice we maintain that formation around the city of a roughly potato-shaped object. That's important because that allows us to move to the next phase quickly, which is going to be actually attacking the city itself. Cleared, we now all attack with the fishes like we were saying, and we retreat them out as before they hit the contact. Now I'll call out one thing here because it's a mistake I made. Notice that large horde there of teal hostiles. We're about to hit the city. Pathfinding aggro is the first thing it touches, so I took one of those city fleets that we fished out so we wouldn't have to fight, and I forced it into a fight. So don't do what I did. Wait for those fleets to pass through and not attack anything, and then help the city fight if you're on that end of the city. Don't pull another fleet into the fight. I mean, if you do, we take care of it, we kill it, we move on, but it's easier if we don't. Third thing we should probably point out here is we did have a hostile show up in that corner where the scouts came from. We're going to have a few fleets move off and keep an eye on them, so if he attempts to intercept, which he's going to kind of sort of do here in a moment, we block him and keep him from interrupting our attack on the city, because we don't want to deal with him. These fleets will burn out really quickly if we do this right. I mean, this is probably one of our fastest level 2s at this point in the game we ever did, in under 20 minutes from timer starting. So you can see him moving in from the corner. We're going to get fleets out there to look at him, and he is going to promptly run away because he's sane. Really can't fault him for it. With that, that's pretty much how we run city captures. If you have any questions, please leave comments or get a hold of me on Discord, and I'll do my best to answer them or try to make it more obvious. Thank you for watching, and let's see us do many more of these and even more hostile situations. Oh yeah, one last thing. We do actually have to guard the city till the timer runs out. Else we run into this place where it can be captured almost instantly. So when the city's captured, don't flee, guard the city. When the city has fleets back, then it's defendable and it can almost defend itself from attacks. So we don't worry then. Take care, everyone, and hope you learned something.